What's up, yogis? Welcome to BODHI. My name is Camille, and this is my girl, Stacia. We're gonna do a flow today called Vibing and Thriving, a little feel-good flow to get you ready for the day. Let's get started in child's pose. So dropping down on the tops of the feet, let your knees splay open, and allow your torso to just fall down on the mat. Arms can reach forward, maybe they fall down by your sides. And just begin to settle in. Letting the tops of the feet and the shins lay heavy on the mat. Allowing the arms to just rest. Release the jaw, unfurrow the eyebrow. And I invite you to let whatever thoughts flow into your head, just let them flow right out the other side. Allow yourself to just become present on your mat. And then just bringing awareness to your breath. Notice the audible inhale and exhale as it goes in and out of the body. And your rib cage expands and releases. And let's take a big inhale through the nose to hold at the top. Open up the mouth, let it go. Another deep inhale through the nose to hold. Out of the mouth, release. One more big inhale through the nose, again holding at the top. This time keeping the lips sealed, slowly exhaling out of the nose. Maybe tapping into your Ujjayi breath. Long inhales and exhales out of the nose. On your next inhale, let's roll up to a tabletop position. Stack the shoulders over the wrist, hips over those knees. And we'll begin to find a couple cat-cow movements. You drop your belly, lift your gaze with an inhale. Exhale, tuck your tailbone down, tucking your chin to your chest. Inhale, you'll lift. And exhale, you'll round. A couple rounds on your own, using your breath as your guide, going as slow or as fast as you would like. Just beginning to find a little bit of fluidity in the body. Maybe you're just waking up. Notice how you feel. Maybe it's the end of your day, allowing it to just roll off your shoulders, right? A couple more rounds. Maybe you move organically from side to side. Again, doing whatever feels good in your body. Last two breaths. And we'll meet with a nice long neutral spine when you're ready. And we're gonna tuck our toes and just lift our knees an inch up off our mat. Over-exaggerate the tuck in your tailbone. As you draw the belly button into the spine, notice the core beginning to turn on. And then you're gonna pop up on your left fingertips. And you can stay right here, or maybe you try to reach your left arms towards the front of your space. Try to keep those hips nice and square. You'll notice that you're gonna begin to sink into the right side. And then if you can, you slowly try to pick up those right toes off the mat, right? And maybe extend out that right leg, just for a breath. And set it all down, let it go. Find one cat, one cow. And then we'll meet with that neutral spine again. We'll tuck the toes, lift the knees an inch. Take a moment, just find your grounds. When you're ready, you'll pop up onto the right fingertips. Again, square off through those hips, and then take your time reaching your right arm forward. And again, squaring through the hips as slow as you can. You'll try to pick up that left foot. Maybe you extend it back again just for a breath. Then let it all go. Find one cat, one cow. When you're ready, we'll tuck the toes, lift the hips. Let's find a downward facing dog. You're gonna pedal out the feet, maybe shake the hips from side to side. Do whatever you need to do to make this space feel like home. And once you land, just noticing how you feel, close your eyes. Find some stillness. And you see if you can begin to draw your attention to each part of the body that I begin to mention. We'll start with our hands. See if you can lift up all 10 of your fingertips up off the mat, grounding down through the whole circumference of the palm. And then one at a time, letting down each knuckle and fingertip, expanding the grip on your mat. Your inner elbows shine forward, your triceps wrap back. And let your head and neck hang heavy, release your jaw. Your spine is nice and long, sit bones reach up towards the ceiling. And notice how your hamstrings feel. Maybe they're a little bit tight, you have a micro bend in those knees. And whether your heels touch the floor or not is a-okay, just let them disappear behind the toes. Let's inhale, roll forward to a high plank. Stack the shoulders over the wrist, ankles over those toes, hips drop in line with the shoulders, pausing here. Thinking about that action again, drawing the belly button up into the spine, knitting in that front rib cage. Think about puffing up the space between the shoulder blades. Allow the neck to shoot straight out from the spine, crown is in line. And then push up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to a high plank, pausing here. Let's lower down halfway to hover, low push up. Push back up, high push up. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 more of those coming our way. Inhale, roll forward, high plank. We lower down to hover. We push back up. We find a down dog. 1 more, roll forward, high plank. Lower, push back up, and downward facing dog. This time, let's take a full vinyasa. Inhale, roll forward to a high plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, maybe up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll meet with the hips high to the sky. Inhale, let's reach the right leg up. Take a bend in the knee, stack open those hips. Maybe take a couple knee circles, open up that hip socket. And finding some stillness. Take a big inhale. Exhale, tap that right knee to your right elbow as you rock forward. Inhale, reach it up and back. Exhale, tap it to the right. Inhale, up and back, bend the knee. 30 seconds on your own, moving through that movement, staying fluid. And again, your breath is your guide, right? So going as slow or as fast as it feels comfortable for you. It's not about the amount of reps that you get in, it's just connecting the body with the breath. And we'll meet the next time the leg is up, bend the knee, stack open those hips. Take a big inhale. Exhale, tap your knee to your nose just to step it through, top of the mat, staying nice and high on those back toes. Get light on your fingertips, and you're just gonna reach your arms forward. Let your chest hover over the top of that right thigh. Think about creating as much space as you can between your torso and that right thigh. Arms are reaching forward, let the triceps wrap down, palms face each other, almost up towards the ceiling. And let's come all the way up, crescent pose. Sink deeper into that front knee. Find a little bit of a slack in the back leg. Think about tucking your frontal hip points forward. And let's interlace the hands overhead. Every finger except for your index finger as if you're pointing up to the sky, and then you're just gonna lean towards the right side. Try to keep those hips nice and square. Staying stable in your front foot, grounding down through that right big toe. Coming back up through center, you can release the hands, take an inhale. Exhale, bring your left hand down to the inside of that right foot. Left arm is gonna reach up, or right arm is gonna reach up overhead. And take the right hand, reach it a little bit further, let the bicep hover over the ear. Think about drawing your left rib cage to the inner right thigh. Hips are staying square. Let's bring that right hand down, pull your front leg straight-ish. It's okay if your back heel doesn't touch the ground, but being nice and high on those fingertips, allow your spine to get long as you drop your torso just a little bit closer to the front thigh. You can let your head and neck hang heavy. Enjoy a little bit of release in that front leg. Still acknowledging that our hips are trying to be square here. A couple more breaths. And we'll bring a bend back into that front knee just to step it back. Find your flow, get out of there. Inhale brings the up dog. Exhale, we'll meet in that downward facing dog. Left leg reaches up, leading with that left inner thigh. Take a bend in the knee, stack open those hips. Maybe take some circles with that knee again, find a little bit of movement. Maybe you hear a pop or a crack. When you're ready, we'll take a big inhale. Exhale, tap that left knee to your left elbow. Inhale, reach it up and back, bend the knee open. When you're ready, rock forward and tap. Again, on your own, 30 seconds, use your breath. Take your time. And how's everybody doing? Couple more breaths. Next time your leg is lifted, we'll bend the knee, stack open the hip. When you're ready, big inhale. Exhale, tap your knee to your nose just to step it through, top of your mat. Take your time getting nice and light on those fingertips. When you're ready, we'll reach the arms forward. Allow that torso to hover. And you notice maybe the second you reach your arms, the heat begins to build, right? Core muscles begin to turn on. Still thinking about knitting in that front rib cage. Let's come all the way up to crescent. Sinking deeper into that front knee. Belly button draws up into the spine. Think about pushing the shoulder blades down the spine. And interlace your hands over your head the opposite way. Remember, your index finger is going to be pointing up high to the sky. When you're ready, you begin to lean towards that left side. Again, hips are trying to square off. Feel that stretch along your right side, getting a little bit longer with every inhale. And come back through center, release those hands, big inhale. Exhale, let's bring the right hand down to the inside of that left foot. Left arm is going to reach up. Taking a moment to settle in, allow those hips to drop down. Take your left arm, reach it up and overhead. Again, bicep hangs about an inch or two above your ear, your cheekbones. And then we breathe into the twist. Every exhale, just getting a little bit deeper. Maybe your gaze is up towards the ceiling. Knowing that the twist comes from the torso, the rib cage, so hips are still square. Let's bring that left hand down to the ground and pull that front leg straight. And again, allowing the spine to get nice and long. And then you allow yourself to round into it. Allow the crown of the head to maybe fall towards that left shin. Maybe bending that front knee a little bit if you need to. Noticing how those hamstrings feel. Maybe you feel a nice release, or you maybe notice the tightness, right? Breathe into the space where you feel the restrictions. Let's bend back into that front knee to step back. Find your vinyasa, lower down slow. Find your back bends, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Let's walk our hands to the back of the mat to meet our feet. And let's take an inhale, flatten the back. Exhale, you fold. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we bow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale, arms are going to sweep up overhead. Exhale is going to bring your hands to prayer heart center. Let's pull the right knee into our chest. And you can interlace your hands and grab a hold of that knee, pulling it into your chest. And getting nice and long. Once you pull that knee nice and tight, you're gonna take your left hand to the outside of that right knee, and you're gonna take your right hand under your tailbone, and maybe you find a gentle twist. Option to extend that right arm towards the back of your space, or keep it on your tailbone, whatever is most comfortable for you. If this is still easy, maybe you take your gaze towards the back of the room. Let's come back through center, keep the knee into the chest, reach the arms straight up overhead, take a big inhale. And think about it before you do it. I want you to step all the way to the top of the mat to find crescent pose, getting nice and light on that standing leg. And again, you take your time once you land. Obviously, you're not gonna land perfectly, so adjust once you get there. And just pause. We'll be here for just a couple breaths. Maybe you close your eyes. And let's bring our hands to prayer. We're gonna begin to lean our torso so far forward that our back foot just magically lifts up, warrior three. Think about squaring off through those hips. Your back foot is flexed. Think about kicking away the back wall with that back leg. That's how strong you want it to be. Crown of the head reaches towards the front of the room. And we're only gonna set the hands down to the mat, vertical splits. Let that left leg get a little bit higher. Allow your head and neck to just hang heavy. Maybe walk your hands to the opposite sides of that standing foot. So inhale, reach the right leg a little bit more. Step it next to the right top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, we lift, we lengthen. Exhale, we bow, we fold. Let's find crow pose, Bakasana. So planting those hands about 6 inches in front of those toes, you're gonna crawl your knees up into your armpit creases. Creating a shelf, I want you to bend your elbows and allow your shins and your knees just to begin to stack on top of those. And maybe you lift one foot up off the mat at a time. Maybe you just get one, maybe you do both. Seisha makes it look so easy. 2 more breaths. Hold wherever you are. Try to get into it. Take your time, walk. Maybe you shoot back through a chaturanga. Take your time. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. Let's walk our hands to meet our feet at the back of the space. Inhale, we lift and lengthen. Exhale, we fold. 2 more times. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we bow. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, arms sweep up, come all the way up to standing. Let's bring our hands to prayer heart center. Let's pull the left knee into our chest. You can interlace those hands and just squeeze the left knee as close to the chest as you can. And just pause, find your balance. When you're ready, we'll find a twist. Let's have that right hand to the outside of that left knee and bring your left hand to your tailbone. Allow your chest to open up to that left side of the room. Maybe you stay right here, maybe you reach your left arm back. Maybe you take your gaze to the back of the room. Maybe you even try to close your eyes. Let's come back through center, reach the arms up, allow the knee to stay into the chest. And think about it before you do it. Let's find crescent pose, stepping all the way to the front of your space. And again, you may not land perfectly. Take your time once you're there, sinking into that back knee, tucking those hip points forward, knitting in that front rib cage. Just pause, couple breaths, close the eyes. Let's bring our hands to prayer. Begin to lean that chest so far forward. Warrior three as the back leg lifts up. And taking your time once you land, grounding down through that left big toe. Think about dropping the right hip in line with the left. Back leg is strong. And try not to tuck the chin into the chest. Allow the neck to create some space. We're only going to drop those hands down to get the right leg a little bit higher. Vertical splits. Again, you can walk your hands off to each side of that standing leg. Maybe you take your left hand, grab a hold of that calf, and actively pull your chest, your forehead towards that standing leg. Let's reach that right leg a little bit more and step it next to left, top of the mat. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we fold. Second Krobokasana, last one here. Same thing as last time. You're gonna find a shelf with those hands as you begin to stack the elbow over the wrist. Then you begin to stuff the knees into those armpits, on the backs of the triceps. Think about puffing up the space between the shoulder blades, kind of like creating a cat. And when you're ready, walk or float your way back, get out of there. We'll find a downward facing dog. Let's take a big inhale through the nose to hold. Open up the mouth, let it go. This time finding a lion's breath, sticking out your tongue on your exhale. Big inhale through the nose again to hold at the top. And let it go. Let's reach the right leg up high to the sky. Step it through to the top of the mat. You can drop down on your back knee and begin to heel toe that ankle over to your left wrist and drop the knee over to the right. Let's find pigeon pose. Allowing your hips to drop down. If your right glute doesn't touch the mat, I invite you to maybe stuff a towel or put a book or two under there to help it. You want it to be resting on something. You can allow your chest to just fall towards the mat. Let me settle in. Notice where your breath is at. If you lost it at any moment during the practice, I invite you to just bring it back. Try to make it as long and slow as it was at the beginning of the practice. Just a couple more breaths. And then gently step up onto your hands. And I want you to lean into that right hip so you can swing your leg around to the top of the mat. And you're gonna take that right ankle and hook it to the outside of that right knee. Find a little bit of a weird twist, but we'll take a big inhale, reach the right arm up and hook it to the outside of that left knee and find a twist. You can plant the fingertips behind that tailbone. Maybe you gaze over your left shoulder. Let's counter twist the opposite direction. And come through center and find pigeon on your left side. You can either just swing your left shin around to the front or option to go through down dog if you would like to do that. But since you're already at the front of the mat, it's pretty easy just to swing that left shin around, extend that right leg back. Take your time settling in. You notice that your left and your right side are very different. So maybe if you didn't need something to support your right hip on the other side. Maybe you need something on your left hip, and that's a-okay. We can get the extra help wherever we can, right? Blocks and props are always our friends. Just a couple more breaths. Take your time stepping up onto those hands. You'll lean into the left hip to swing that right leg around and hook that right ankle to the outside of that left knee. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale as you find a twist. Allow the spine to be long. With every exhale, you get a little bit deeper. With every inhale, you grow a little bit taller. And let's counter twist, switch your sides. Let's come back through center. You can untangle those legs and plant the feet and slowly roll all the way onto your back. And we'll find one bridge pose, so keep the heels nice and planted close to those sit bones. Allow the arms to come down by the sides. With an inhale, you push your hips up, high to the sky. Arms can stay down by the sides. Maybe you interlace your hands on your low back, working the shoulders a little bit under. An option to hang out right here, maybe find a full bridge variation wheel. And lift the hips just a little bit more. Exhale, touch them down to the mat. Let's pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. Try to grab opposite shins or opposite elbows over your shins, pulling the forehead to the knees. Take a big inhale through the nose to hold. Holding on to any stress, tension, anxiety, anything you hold on to just a little bit more. Maybe you take in a little sip of air just to cap it off. Open up the mouth, let it go. Let the arms and legs get long. Take up space on the mat. Sweet, sweet Savasana. You've made it. In the next couple minutes or so, I just invite you to let go. Let go of all thoughts, feelings, emotions. Letting go of the physical practice, the physical body. It's over now. You can rest. Take a big inhale through the nose. Open up the mouth, let it go. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Rolling out the wrists and the ankles. And rolling over to your favorite side. And taking your time coming up to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. And we'll meet with our hands at prayer heart center. And just take a moment to thank yourself for showing up on your mat today to take care of you physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's always a pleasure to guide you through such a wonderful practice. Namaste.